And this is the model. This is a model of what a traditional business looks like. So the employees are down here and they make the widgets. Joe is running the shop, and then he, as he runs out of time, because he's very popular, he hires people to do this, and he begins to move into management, and he moves himself up further and further away from his customers who are here, further and further away from actually hands-on making the product, and he runs the business. This is what a traditional business looks like. It is what almost every single solitary business book that you pick up is talking about. They are talking about creating this business model. It is systems dependent. So I can't tell you how many classes go on teaching how to make sure everybody's doing things the same way on the same page, because if he can get it running with everybody doing what they're supposed to do with documented systems, he's got something that is saleable. He sells the whole thing, and he steps out, and somebody who is stepping in says, because you've got documented systems, I can step into your shoes, I can step into the stream of income that you have created, and therefore it's worth paying you for that. And Joe says, I've been a success. I've created a business that is saleable. This is what it's all about, okay? This does not work for the solo. So let's look at what happens to the solo. So we've named her Jolene, okay, since we had Joe, and this is kind of her story of what happens to her. So she's a consultant or a photographer or a writer or an artist, and she's doing her work, and she starts her business to sell her work, and she's doing great. She's making her product and taking her photographs, and she's also invoicing, she's also doing her social media, she's got her website, she's got all this stuff going, and she's running everything. And then, because she's very successful, she hits the wall. She runs out of time. And she says, oh man, what am I going to do here? I cannot, do all of this. I'm exhausted. I'm just spread too thin. I can't do it. But she says, I can't hire somebody to make my creations. That's what I do. So what is she going to do? And this population was the first one that grabbed my attention for solopreneurs, because they would hit that wall, okay? They would hit that wall. What I kept seeing people do is either dropping from exhaustion or turning their business into what I call a beloved hobby, okay? Or just going out of business. So here's what I said. Is this the moral of the story? That if you want to have a successful business, you're better off to create a widget than you are to create art or wisdom? I don't think that's the story of our culture. There's certainly enough in the creatives that says you're going to, you will be a starving artist. There's certainly enough of that goes on that people pick that up. I'd say bunk. But, I just don't think this should be true. So as I say, that's what I was wrestling on. And the problem is time. We don't talk about time, but time and money always go hand in hand. And so the question is, how do I get enough time to do all the things that need to be done and still have the dream time or the clear time to imagine and create and bring about the art and the beauty that I want to bring to the world? How do I ever do that? There is not enough time. By the way, I have a name for this, the time-money squeeze. I call it the time-money squeeze. And that's where you have no time and you have no money. And you're just trying to figure out, what am I going to do here? How am I going to make this world work? And it's pretty awful. So what I came up with in some moments of clarity and inspiration are what I've come to call the water bug model. And this is how it works. And actually I was up at the Cloud Mountain Retreat Center with a friend of mine, and I was watching the little skimmers, go over the water in one of the puddles, and I said, that's exactly what happened. So I call it the water bug model. And I said, the pyramid, we don't want to do the pyramid. What we really want to do is have a model where we've got us here in the middle spending the majority of our time, as much time as possible, doing what it is that we love here. But what we're going to do is we're going to outsource to other professionals, okay? We're going to outsource to them the pieces of work that we need to support our business. And we're going to do it in a different way. We're not going to do the traditional hire them, put them on the payroll, but this is a different relationship. This is a business to business relationship. The owner here, me, I'm the client. This is another business, but because I'm the client, they're working to keep me happy. She's the client. Let's keep her happy. Oh, isn't that wonderful?